What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to Blazers Uprise Live. Hope your Thursday is going well. We got an off day today. Blazers play the Bucks tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about that. They're coming off a 4-0 road trip. Hopefully they can keep up the momentum, but they face a bit of a litmus test because they go up against the Milwaukee Bucks. They've had a generally easy last few games. That's not going to continue. They got 3 legitimate playoff teams in the next 4. But before we talk about that game, we're going to start off with the usual, with everybody's favorite picks against the spread. Look at this, Eric. Chat is falling off hard. They went 2-10 on Monday. Reese went 8-4. I accidentally glitched that. Let me, honestly, my OCD wants me to fix that. So, 8-4 for Reese. Reese had a great Monday, so he gained some ground. He gained 6 games on chat. He's now only 18 games back. Honestly, it's anybody's race at this point. Zach has tied you. Trevin's still hanging tough. I've fallen below 500, but compared to everybody else, I had a decent Monday. So it's getting interesting. It's getting a little spicy.
Yep, and it's always nice when you go 3-9 like myself and still gain a game on the person above you.
Exactly, man. I mean, 7 games today. Things could change around. Let's jump into the very first game. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia is a 9.5-point spread. Cleveland has been struggling, but I believe Joel Embiid is out. Not entirely. What's the deal with Joel Embiid?
I spent the last half an hour doing all the injury stuff. So Embiid and George Hill are out for the Sixers. Nance and Allen are out for the Cavs. Love is playing.
Good job. Good preparedness. This is tough, man. Because, okay, Utah was a 16-point favorite against Cleveland on Monday. I took the Cavs because I couldn't take a 16-point favorite. And, yeah, Utah beat them by like a million. So that was I wish I picked the Jazz there. So go over again. Who's Philadelphia missing?
Joel Embiid and George Hill.
Okay, I am still going to take the 76ers in this one.
Yep, I'm also going to take the 76ers.
All right.
Zach is taking the 76ers as well. He is not able to participate like normal.
Oh, yeah, Zach is not here. So Reese is counting today. Reese is stepping up and filling his shoes. We'll see how Reese does. We'll see if Reese can count to 15. Trevin, I don't know what you're talking about.
It looks like faded, like it's meant to look like it's old, like the Declaration of Independence or something.
Yeah, I don't see it, honestly. So Reese, we're waiting. Reese went with the 76ers as well. We might have a clean sweep here.
I see what you did.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. $10-3 for the 76ers for chat. So 2 more votes for the Sixers, or 2 more votes for chat. It determines the double down. But it will definitely be the Sixers. Trevin is going with the Sixers as well. So we got a clean sweep for the Sixers in this one. Everybody's rolling with Philadelphia. Let's jump into game number 2. You got Detroit versus Washington. Washington is a 1-point favorite on the road in Detroit. I don't really think this one through. I made both the backgrounds red, but you get what you get.
All right, so the Pistons, other than the people who've been out a while, like Killian Hayes, Diallo is out for this one. No other really significant injuries for them. Out for the Wizards is Bradley Beal, Gafford, Bertans, Thomas Bryant, and Ish Smith.
Okay, I am going to take the Pistons then in this one.
Oh, man, the spread's only 1. Pistons played last night. I'm going to take the Wizards.
Yeah, this is a tough spread.
Trevin's
A tough
taking the
game to pick.
Wizards. Zach is taking the Wizards. Reese is taking the Wizards.
All right, we're all going Wizards, except for me. Okay, I'll take this island. Honestly, I'm very comfortable with this pick. We'll see what chat does. We need Jeopardy music.
Wait, 10-6? How is it? How could it be 10-6, Reese?
Reese, if
Maybe
it's
he
only
doesn't
the
know
first
how to
15.
count.
Yeah. It's only the first 15, Reese. Reese is already counting incorrectly. It's only the first 15.
It's gonna be the Wizards.
Yeah, it's good. All right, I'll take this island. This might be my double down. Eric's had luck doubling down with when he's out on an island. I might be willing to do that as well. 10-5. All right, there you go, Reese. That equals 15. 10 plus 5 equals 15. Good maths. All right, game number 3. You got Brooklyn taking on Charlotte in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a 2.5-point favorite. Injuries, Eric.
The only significant injury for the Hornets is LaMelo is obviously out with a wrist injury.
Mm-hmm.
For the Nets, you have James Harden, Kevin Durant, Dinwiddie, and Blake Griffin all out of this game. On the positive side, it looks like LaMarcus might make his debut tonight. Possibly. It's still a game time decision. But so of the big three, you only have Kyrie in this one.
Alrighty. Tough game then, man. The injuries make things tough. I don't know. I'm going to wait to make this pick. I've made my picks pretty fast. Bro, Zach came in here to say, cut Reese some slack. It's tougher than it looks. Shake my head.
We know. We're just giving him crap. All right, Trevin's taking the Hornets. Zachary is taking the Hornets.
All right. Well, we counted last year on without a limit. We would count everything without like a 15 pick limit while streaming. That was difficult. So Reese and Zach are going Hornets, you said?
Yep.
That Hornets logo looks kind of
cool.
Not
Like Reese. Not Reese. Zach and Trevin.
Okay, sorry. Other mod. Yes.
I haven't seen Reese's pick yet.
8-7 Nets. Reese is the counter. So there we go. We got Brooklyn for chat. Oh, he said he's listening, just can't devote his full attention. Alright, so waiting on Reese's pick and your pick, Eric?
I'm going to go with the Hornets.
Alright, Reese, what are you going with? Imagine being late sucks to suck. Okay. Man, Zach came in defending Reese, and now Reese is saying, imagine being late sucks to suck.
He's talking about the Trevin.
Bro, I'm trying to cause beef here, man.
Yeah. Well, the beef is between Trevin and Reese, not Reese and Zach.
Where are they beefing?
Reese said 8-7 Nets, and then Trevin said 8-7 Nets, and Trevin was trying to say that he beat him when Reese got it first, and he's saying late Trevin, wow.
Well, at least Reese finally made his pick. I am going to go with the Hornets as well. Reese and chat are alone. The top of the totem pole and the bottom of the totem pole are teaming up for the Nets. Everybody else is going Hornets. Let's move on to game number 4. You got Miami taking on Golden State. The records are nearly identical. Miami is a 3-point favorite. Injuries, Eric?
Heat have no significant injuries on their report, at least. Okpala was the only one listed as out for them. And the Warriors are relatively healthy. Of course, Clay is out, but Eric Paschal is the only other player out for them, according to their injury report.
All right, I'm going to take the Heat.
I am also going Heat.
All right, Eric's going.
Stupid Heat always screw me over, but.
Well, you said that. Okay.
Actually,
you said that on Monday, so I picked against them because you said that.
Oh, so you
and
didn't
then
pick
it worked
who you
out
thought
for
would
you.
win?
No, I mean,
went
I
off
picked
what
who I
said?
thought would win, but it definitely made it easier. You know what I mean? You said that last, bro. How many times are they gonna have to come through for you to believe in
I don't know.
Eric Spoelstra's Miami Heat?
Today, if they do it today, I'll
Okay.
apologize on Monday's stream.
If they don't do it today, I'll be triggered right there with you.
Okay.
I doubled down on
11-4
the other
Heat.
team. Yeah, I doubled down on the Knicks. Tragically.
Zach is going Warriors.
All right. The color schemes are kind of tripping me out on which side to show which
Cool if the
team to
Blazers
show.
are playing today. It's
I know.
The Magic or something.
They're play the Bucks tomorrow. That would have
yeah.
been green Blazers logo. Chat's vote is already registered. We only take the first 15, by the way. Waiting on Reese and Trevin.
Reese is taking the Heat.
Okay.
That means Trevin probably voted.
Trevin votes early. Yeah. Trevin voted Heat. So Zach's alone on an island with Golden State. Let me get that. Bang. All right. Game number 5. You got New Orleans taking on Orlando. Orlando is in freefall mode. New Orleans has looked decent lately. This game has a 5-point spread for the Pelicans. They're a 5-point favorite. Make your picks.
Well, first, before you make your picks...
Oh, injuries, Eric.
Well, the Magic, of course, are who the heck knows. I know Michael Carter-Williams and Maine are out, and Gary Harris is out, but, I mean, who knows with that roster? It doesn't really matter.
Who knows who's even on that team at this point?
The important thing is Lonzo Ball, Zion Williamson out.
Oh, my goodness, man. These injuries are going to make these...
Brandon Ingram, doubtful. So
how are we supposed to pick this game, dude? This is like a G League game at this. So who's the Pelicans' best player then, assuming Brandon Ingram doesn't play? Eric Bledsoe?
Bledsoe and Steven Adams.
I mean,
that's
that's
Alexander Walker and
that. I mean, those two are still probably better than anybody Orlando puts out there on the floor. But Orlando just beat the Clippers, though. Okiki's been playing well. Oh man, I don't know. This game is disgusting. I'm gonna wait for the mods. You gotta pick this one first. I'm throwing you to the fire with this one. I don't know.
Just a side note for everyone. All right, I saw that, Zach. I'll erase all that. So, like Mateo, don't. You can't vote for a team and then later on say, okay, never mind, I take the other one.
Makes it too confusing.
It makes it hard to count. So just vote.
Like mods and us can do that because it's easy, but...
That's why you should wait to hear the injury report first before voting.
Yes. Like, Eric could easily just say, oh, I'm changing my pick. I could change it in 5 seconds. We have to recalculate the whole entire vote. You know, if we see something gets deleted, it's really hard on the mods. So you guys don't get that privilege. You guys don't even need that privilege. You guys are sitting at 184. So you guys...
Belgian's saying Ingram was just changed to out.
Yeah. Doubtful generally means out. Jeez, man. I don't even know.
Reese is taking the Magic. Trevin is taking the Magic. Chat 9-6 Magic.
What's Zach taking?
Zach's taking the Pelicans. It was going to be their double down, but they changed it.
Yeah, I can't blame them for that. What's your pick?
I'm gonna take the Magic. I don't feel good about it.
Pelicans do have Josh Hart too, who will slot in. Okay, Eric Bledsoe, Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Who would be their starting 4? Who's their backup 4?
I don't know. Is it like Melly?
No, they traded Melly.
Oh yeah, they traded him. I forgot he was part of that trade.
Yeah. James Johnson?
That trade I forgot about.
Question mark? James Johnson? I'll roll with Zach, honestly. I'll roll with my guy Zach. I'll take the Pelicans. Zach's been doing well lately. I'll take the Pelicans.
I'm
very curious to see what that lineup looks like.
Yeah, it looks like James Johnson.
Jackson Hayes is not a power
they
forward.
They have three centers, yeah. Adams, Hernangomez, and Hayes.
I mean, that's still a better lineup than...
Oh, they have Wenyan Gabriel.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
hopefully Wenyan plays, tonight. Man. Give that man a chance. He's the next Siakam.
And your boy,
he gets
Kyrie
a chance.
Lewis.
Oh, yeah, Kyrie Lewis about to drop 20. Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Pelicans in this one. Everybody else going Magic other than me and Zach. Let's move on into game number 6. You got Atlanta taking on San Antonio. San Antonio is a 1.5 point favorite at home. Atlanta's been playing great basketball. Nate McMillan just won Coach of the Month, and I agree with that. The Hawks have been playing great. The Spurs have kind of fallen back down to earth a little bit. What are the injuries, Eric?
I'm a little disappointed. Like 20 minutes ago, it was a pick'em. But out for the Spurs are Gorgie Jang.
Luol Deng, man, yeah.
Trey Lyles and Lonnie Walker. For the Hawks, DeAndre Hunter is questionable, but John Collins, Cam Reddish, and I can't read my own handwriting. Someone else is out. I don't think it was someone significant, but
these colors getting to you, Luol Deng. You can't read your own handwriting.
It was like with a gel pen, so it kind of faded there.
So a lot of people going Spurs.
Oh, it's Lou Williams.
Okay.
Looks like he's out.
They got Trey
and Chris Dunn.
So they got Trae Young, Capella, Gallinari, Bogdanovich.
Capella, yeah.
Wow, chat's heavy for the Spurs. Trevin's going Hawks.
I'm going Hawks as well. I just have a feeling about it.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm feeling right now.
The Hawks look like they're wearing our earned jerseys tonight.
They actually do. Yeah, we went with Spurs colors, man. With those jerseys.
Shit. Zach is going Spurs.
All right. Some of these logos I feel like look really clean in the like different colorways, and some of them just look weird. Reese's pick. Reese's going Hawks. You know what? I'll make this a split vote. I have no inkling either way. I'll just take the Spurs. Oh, wait, no. Wait, Reese took the Hawks. Yes. Okay. Reese took Hawks. All right. There. Split vote. Me, Zach, and Chat are going with the Spurs. Reese, Eric, and Trevin are going with the Hawks. Last game of the day, you got Denver taking on the LA Clippers. The records are not updated for this, by the way. I didn't get to that. AKA, I forgot.
So for the Nuggets, it looks like the only significant injury is Morris is out. But for the Clippers, we have Morris. Their Morris is questionable. And then out for the Clippers is Paul George, Rajon Rondo, Serge Ibaka, and Patrick Beverley. All out for this game.
Okay, and the Nuggets are missing Monte Morris, and that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going with the Nuggets.
I'm also taking the Nuggets. Reese is going Nuggets.
This is okay. I kind of like this game on an off day for the Blazers. They gain a half a game on somebody. Maybe they can finally be ahead of the Nuggets. That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down with that.
Trevin, I think Ibaka and Beverly and Rondo were out the last games, but Paul George, I think, is a recent.
There's the updated records for you. And I'll get Photoshop off the screen.
14-1 Nuggets for chat. So a game after they had 13-2, and it looked like that would be their double down, they swoop in with the Nuggets.
With the Nuggets. Yep, Reese is going Denver.
Zach is going the Clippers, unless he changes his pick. I don't know if he's listening, but
Trevin's going Denver. I'll give him a
Zach
good
Island.
10 seconds to change it. No change? All right, Zach's on an island. But Zach's been on a roll lately, man. Like, he's been on fire. He could, after today, he could have the lead. That's kind of scary. Anyway, time for double downs. Oh no, it's normal logos. Let me get rid of those. Chat's double down, you said, was who?
No, it Denver, is the Denver right? Nuggets.
Yeah. Okay. I don't even know why I asked. I knew the answer, but I didn't want to think. All right, there you go. Denver.
Is that for your double down, Trevin? He says going Denver because of Aaron Gordon.
Despicable.
Funny.
It's actually unacceptable, Trevor. No, but yeah. All right. There you go. What's Zach's double down?
It was the Pelicans, but he said to wait after hearing all the injuries. Right. So
demote Trevin. I'm thinking about it, Connor. But last night I thought, Zach was going with the Kevin O'Connor line of thinking, and that's just unacceptable as well. So I might have to demote both of them. Reese is the only one in my good graces right now.
I don't have any islands to double down on tonight. Crap.
Man.
Pain.
Nobody gave Eric an island. That's tragic.
Zach's changing his double down to Charlotte.
Wait, didn't he just say the Spurs? He said the Spurs, and then it's deleted. Reese is going Nuggets.
Yeah, okay. So he messaged around Discord saying Spurs or Hornets. Hornets. All
right. There we go. Hornets. Which one was my island? Oh, Detroit. Pistons. I'm gonna go Detroit.
Yeah, of course you are.
What? Oh, it started at 4. Okay, I'm not gonna do it. I haven't checked the score. Don't know the score of that game.
It's fine. You can do it. You said when you picked it that was going to be a bonus. So, yeah. I was just
because I like islands too. Yeah, I just.
All right. I feel the most confident with the Nuggets, so I'm gonna go with them as well.
All right.
I haven't liked lately having my double down be one of the late games, because then you're like, dang it, like all the games you win earlier than that, you're like, why didn't I double down on that team? Why didn't I double down on that team?
I know. Yeah. I just don't like doubling down with a bunch of people. I mean, you got 4 double downs for the Nuggets here. Mm-hmm. I like kind of going out on an island a little bit. So that's my Pistons pick. I have no idea what the score is. Okay, Hyper just plugged it. But I did say on that game. If I didn't say it earlier, I probably wouldn't do it because this game already started. Took a little extra time to put these graphics together, I don't know why, but it took a little bit of extra time, So there you guys go. That is picks against the spread. We'll see how we do.
You got us good, Tori.
I just want to see what it looked like, to be honest. So, some of those logos were pretty clean. But anyway, all right. So, the Blazers play the Bucks tomorrow. This is a litmus test, right? Oh, since they got Nurkic back, their defense, it's been ranked 16th. It's still below average. honestly, like, it's funny how people will say, oh, our defense is ranked 16th the last 3 games, when we've played the G League Magic, we've played the Raptors without Lowry, and we've played the Detroit Pistons. Honestly, 16th is not, like, if we're playing decent teams, that's probably 25th ranked defense right there. I mean, these teams are bad. I like that we're ranked 16th against bad teams, because we've had some bad performances, so I guess I can't complain about it, but that's where this upcoming schedule comes in. Eric, you got a litmus test against the Milwaukee Bucks. Will they be able to have any sort of defensive success against the Milwaukee Bucks? The Milwaukee Bucks blew out the Blazers earlier this season, but of course the Blazers are healthy now. So this is the first game in which the Blazers are healthy. It's the first game where they've had Nurkic and Norman Powell, where they'll face a good team and have to put forth a good defensive effort. Now, after this game, they got OKC. That's obviously a very bad team, especially now at this point in the season. But then they have, I believe, Denver and the Clippers, right? Those are the 2 games after
Clippers
that?
and Utah.
Oh, Utah and the Clippers. Either way, 2 legitimate teams, so that's 2 more tests. So after this 4-game span, we'll have a better idea of, okay, are they figuring anything out defensively?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it starts tomorrow with the Bucks.
Yeah, and obviously the Bucks are super talented. Giannis is not someone that you can shut down. We've had a lot of trouble guarding him in the past. But it's just, you want it to look better than it did the last time we played them, and should be significantly better. We might still give up a lot of points, and that's okay as long as we show some things that are different and look like we're actually adjusting and trying to get better on that end versus just throwing different personnel out there and hoping it gets better. 'Cause that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for, is that they have an actual game plan against the Bucks and not just, oh, let's see how good our defense does against the Bucks and let's just run the same defense we ran out against Detroit and see if that works. So I hope that they're starting to scheme more for these teams. And if not, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, and we're going to go right back to saying, oh, so it works against the Magic and the Toronto Raptors who are missing guys and the Pistons, but once again, we can't beat 500 teams. I hope a week from now that's not what we're saying after this stretch.
Yeah. I'm not going to buy any stock in performances against the bottom feeders of the league. There's just no point to, right? If we're going to hold the team at the standard of a contender, it doesn't matter what they do against a G League Magic, against, a Raptors team which is playing terrible and didn't have Lowry, and having a good defensive outing against the Detroit Pistons doesn't say anything to me. Can they defend the better offenses in the league? The offenses that'll really exploit drop scheme, the offenses that you really have to game plan for, the offenses that you have to be on a string and making the right decision quickly defensively on where to be, when to rotate, when to stunt, when to help, all those sorts of things. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm happy that we're playing a good team because, while bad teams are nice and it's nice to win 4 games in a row against pretty mediocre teams, I really want to see what we do against a good team right now, right? Because after the game last Monday, right? Or Tuesday. Yeah, last Tuesday. After that game, you had the players, you had Stotts basically saying, we like where we're trending defensively. Well, that's obviously paraphrasing, but that was basically kind of what I gathered, is they're happy with the way they're trending defensively. But I just thought, you guys realize you're facing just absolute garbage teams, right? Like, this doesn't mean anything. You guys got to, prove it. It's hard to say the defense is looking better right now when the teams they're playing are as bad as they are. So, if they have a good defensive outing tonight, if they hold the Bucks or tomorrow night, I'm mixing up my days, man. Oh my! If they have a good defensive outing tomorrow night, if they hold the Bucks, honestly, under 115 points, that would be good. given how bad the Blazers defense has been this year and given how good the Bucks are. And if they hold the Bucks under 115, they have a really solid chance at winning. Under 110, that's really good. Under 105, under 100, that would be a great defensive outing against the Bucks for the Blazers, by the Blazers standards. Now, the top defenses in the league, that wouldn't be a great performance, but based on how bad the Blazers have been, that's what I'm looking for. Under 110, 115 points. Because against teams like this, they generally give up 125 to 130. So, yeah. I mean, obviously, they might get some lucky breaks. They might get hot where we actually do a good job of contesting, right? So there is some context that needs to go into the final score. But tomorrow's just, we'll get to see if this defense can compete against a good team.
Yeah, and I know they kind of struggled at the beginning of the year. They were having around 500 after about 20 games. Don't let that fool you. They're 6th in offensive rating this year, 8th in defensive rating. So this is going to also be a good test for our offense to see if we see some of these things that we've seen last game, like the ball movement and some random plays and stuff like that inserted to get some easy buckets against a good defense like them. So not only will this be a test for our defense, but our offense as well. So I'm really excited to see how this team performs. And I know Sherweezy said he was joking, but he was like, "Man, you guys are negative again." And yeah, it's funny to make jokes, but like honestly, we're just for anyone else that might not be joking, like we said this during the 6-game win streak. We got a ton of crap about it. And then as soon as they had a stretch like this, 4 games, what happened? We lost all 4 of them. And then then we won a couple games against good teams or bad teams, and then we play a good team and we lose. It's happened pretty much since then. So I just want to see this team play well against good teams. I'm hopeful now that we have Powell and Nurk into the mix that this will be a different team and we won't have some of those same problems, but we've also had Nurk in previous years and someone like Gary Trent who had been playing well at times, and we didn't see a lot of these things we've been asking for against good teams. So hopefully we see just a decent defensive effort. I'm not asking for them to completely shut down the Bucks and hold them to as many points as we did in Detroit last night. That's totally unreasonable. But just have a game where you're solid on both ends of the court against a good team. I just love to see that.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see. This is the type of game where I feel like we should start Derrick Jones Jr. Just to have more size to throw at Giannis. It'll be interesting to see if it's like the starting lineup isn't set in stone, because I feel like this game would be the game where they would start Derrick Jones Jr. if it wasn't set in stone.
Yeah, I was reading last night several people, I haven't looked into if this is true, but several people are saying that the Milwaukee Bucks, Powell kills them.
Okay.
So I don't know if that factors in or not, but yeah, I don't know. I guess you could put Powell on Middleton and Dame or CJ on Drew.
Oh yeah, they got Drew. Yeah, this is gonna be a game where we cannot rely on Dame to just bail us out. Like we gotta run some solid offense. This is why, like, oh, but Dame's really good at isolating, and he loves isolating. We got isolation scores and yada yada yada. Okay, what happens when you go up against Giannis and Drew Holiday? And they're probably, I don't know. We'll see if Budenholzer loves drop scheme, so hopefully he runs drop scheme, but we'll see if he traps with Drew and Giannis and like. That's not a good matchup to just isolate Dame against and just have him trying to create against those guys when they're set defensively. You got to get those guys scrambling a little bit and moving to create seams in the defense for Dame to attack or to give him some space, spotting up or, coming off a screen or, off ball or something like that in order to get cleaner three-point looks than he'll otherwise get just running straight into a pick and roll or isolating against a Drew Holiday. That's not a good idea to do that. So we got to run some offense.
So DiVincenzo starts at shooting guard, so you can kind of. I think they'll probably start Powell and put him on Middleton. You put probably CJ on Drew and then Dame on DiVincenzo. I think that's probably what they'll do. I wouldn't have a problem with it either way, but it looks like there's a good chance that both PJ Tucker and Bobby Portis are out tomorrow night. So they are very thin up front after Brook Lopez and Giannis. They do not have much in terms of size. They got the rookie G leaguer. I'm gonna mess up his name. Diakati. How do you say his name?
Oh, I don't even know, man.
Mamadou.
I know his like Mamadou, like played in Virginia. Yeah, I know who he is. I blank on how to say it. So I'm there with you.
So yeah, not much in terms of depth, at least in the front court. So that's something that Nurk, Cantor, those guys should have a field day, especially considering Brook Lopez is getting kind of up there. I don't know if he can play big minutes like he used to either and be as effective as he could possibly be. Reese has the numbers last 4 games for Norman Powell versus the Bucks: 21.8 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2.3 assists on 62% field goal percentage, 60% 3-point percentage, and 81% free throws. Pretty dang good.
How many shots do you think he shoots tomorrow?
Probably like 8.
Yeah, my guess would be like 9.
Mm-hmm.
So probably not gonna get 22 points. It's probably not going to be that type of outing. We gotta get him shots, man. That's what I mean by just gotta run some offense, because you got this third guy. I mean, you got 2 guys next to Damon CJ right now. They're just phenomenal shooters. Rocco lately in the month of March, Rocco shot above 50% from 3, right? You gotta just move the ball and run some sort of offense. Just get the ball moving, because they gotta guard those guys. It's much easier to set up, help side defense and then rotations out to those 2 shooters if the defense is set. If the defense is moving, it becomes a lot less clear whose responsibilities those are. Mm-hmm. It becomes a lot less clear of, the help side rotations. If you're guarding a guy and you're having to deal with an off-ball screen on the weak side, your attention is going to be taken a bit away from the ball. If Dame is able to catch the ball against rotating defense and drive, the help side defense might be a little bit later because there's some action going on elsewhere. This is why you just got to run some offense. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's not going to happen. But that's why they should.
The only encouraging thing, because the last time we played the Bucks, I know a lot of this was in garbage time, but that was the game Nas had 30 points. So there is room for those kickouts, and those secondary players have the ability to go off against the Bucks, because honestly, Bud has changed their defense a little bit this year, and that's part of the reason why they struggled, and part of the reason why at this point, now that they're playing better, they're set up more for a deep playoff run in years past, in my opinion, is because the drop scheme, they've been using that a lot less than they normally do. And something that we said we should have done early on to sacrifice maybe a little bit of that to make sure at this point we're not talking about one of the worst defenses in the league and it needing to be better and all that stuff. By this point, we'd already be like kind of locked in on that end or whatever. But so yeah, I don't see them dropping a lot on Dame. I think with Drew, they'll try to trap him a lot. But this is a situation when you have Derek Jones in there. If we're not running like lob plays for him or anything, I'd much rather have Powell as the guy who they can't trap and has to be left open versus Derek Jones in the corners. So hopefully we find him in the corners and he gets lots of shots, and they have to adjust their defense and have to go back to single covering Dame and CJ. And I think there's ways to exploit their defense, even though it's good. I'm just not extremely hopeful that we will.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see this Nuggets Clippers game. later today, the Nuggets are currently tied with us for 5th in the West at 29 and 18, along with us. So if they lose, we'll be in 5th, a half game ahead of the Nuggets, and only a half game behind the Lakers. The Lakers lost last night, so we're only a half game behind them. If the Clippers lose, we'll be a half game behind the Nuggets for 5th, but we'll be only 1.5 behind the Clippers for 3rd. So if we win tomorrow, if the Nuggets beat the Clippers and then we win tomorrow, we'll only be a 1 game back of 3rd. Okay? Mm-hmm. So things are bunched up. Blazers are going to have a tougher schedule. They need to finally start beating some of the better teams because you got a chance to climb up into the top 3. The Lakers are hurt. The Clippers are playing better, but they've been a bit underwhelming. The Clippers are missing Paul George today. They're always kind of nicked up. The Clippers and Lakers could very likely be 4th and 5th. I mean, I might rather have 6th and 5th, depending on what team is 4th. You got to be, if you're trying to contend, you got to be the best teams, but I'd much rather face a 3rd place Nuggets team in the first round and then face like the Phoenix Suns in the second round. I would much rather have that than to, have to face the Clippers or the Lakers and then have to face the Jazz. 6th isn't guaranteed. The Mavericks are only 3.5 games behind us, and they have a pretty easy schedule. So it's not like we're super comfortable. We're 6 games ahead of 9th. So, but we don't want to fall to 7th because that's a play-in situation. You don't want to fall to 7th whatsoever.
That's why I couldn't believe a few years ago when they tried to lose the last game of the season to be like the 4th seed instead of the 3rd seed. And just think of how much different that playoff run probably wouldn't have happened had we lost that game like we tried to do. We would have had to play Utah in the first round and then the Warriors in the second round instead of the Western Conference Finals. So that made no sense to me. It's short-sighted to only worry about your first round opponent and nothing past that, especially when this team should have goals higher than winning a first round playoff series. And yes, they should also have a goal not to lose in the first round. That's important as well. But just getting to the second round is no longer just like a great accomplishment for this team, in my opinion. So, I just want them to avoid the play-in game at all costs and then worry about how it shakes out from there.
Yeah. So, bunched up conference. Let's see I'll see who's playing tomorrow in terms of Western Conference playoff teams.
The Lakers play the Kings.
Okay.
Denver and Clippers, since they play tonight, do not have a back-to-back. The Bulls are in Utah. And
Utah we're not catching.
The Warriors play a back-to-back after the Heat tonight. They play the Raptors tomorrow. And
the Suns are playing the Thunder. That's probably going to be an automatic win for them. But the Kings could definitely beat the Lakers. So we could be tied with... No, we could be a half game ahead of the Lakers tomorrow if we win and they lose.
Yep.
I mean, you can definitely gain some ground here. You got OKC tossed in here, but then, Utah, the Clippers... I mean, we play the Clippers soon. So... If they lose tonight, we could gain some ground on them, Or if they win tonight, we could gain some ground on them. It's, it's a situation where you're going to start playing these Western Conference teams, and if you win, you got a chance to climb into the top 3. If you lose, you got a chance to fall out of the top 6 and have to deal with a play-in game. That's basically the position they're in. Cool. The record looks nice. It looks nice, especially since they've had Nurkic and CJ out, yada, yada. They've played an easy schedule, okay? This team could easily be the 7th seed going into the playoffs if they don't take care of business. They have not beaten good teams at all this year. In the year of 2021, Eric, other than Philadelphia, the most impressive win the Blazers have is against Dallas. Okay? And we're into the 4th month of 2021. And outside of Philadelphia, which was a great matchup for the Blazers in my opinion, not to downplay that win. But outside of beating Philadelphia, our most impressive win is Dallas. That's not saying much for a whole 3-month period. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to beat them.
Yeah. That's why I just want to see us play well. At least 2 out of these next 4, if not, 2 out of the next just throw out the OKC game. We should play well in that game, but the other three, I want to see us play well in 2 out of those 3. I mean, even if we split them 2-2, as long as we were playing better, or it looks like we're trying different things, then I will be happy with that. But I just don't want to see us lay an egg and then all of a sudden we're not talking about being 10, 11 games over 500. We're talking about holding off the Mavericks for 6th, like you said. I'd much rather be talking about us possibly getting a top 3 seed than the other way around.
Yep. So LaMarcus Aldridge is playing tonight for the Nets, by the way. The Nets are up 11-4 right now.
Nice. Sherweezy asked, who do you think gets rotation minutes, Ant or Nas? I definitely think there's only room for one of them, and I think it's dependent on who starts in that situation. So if Powell starts, I think you have to give those minutes to Ant as the backup guard, and if you start Derek Jones, you probably have room to do the rotation they were doing prior to Nas missing the last few games, and that's with him getting the minutes in the second unit and Ant not playing much.
Yep. So I don't know. I just blanked on what I was gonna say. I love when that happens. Paul George is now questionable for today. That'll be interesting if he ends up playing. That probably, yeah. I mean, we're done with picks against the spread. Dang. I thought he was listed as out.
He was.
Can they change that on game day?
I don't know.
Huh. Weird.
We had that one last week with Russell Westbrook where he was listed as out and ended up playing.
I mean, didn't we all take the Nuggets? Did somebody else take the Clippers?
I'm looking at right now. Paul George won't play against the Nuggets on Thursday due to his lingering foot injury. Rondo, Serge Ibaka, and Patrick Beverley are also out.
Yeah, weird.
It's the second site I've checked for it.
I mean, we'll see. Most of us, Zach was the only one with the Nuggets, so we're all pretty much just on this ship. We left Zach on the island, and we're all on this ship. I accidentally misspoke. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's a bad ship. Maybe Paul George, Mr. Bad Shot makes it a bad ship. I don't know. But Zach's definitely hoping Paul George plays because he's trying to catch Chat. He's on a run. So
yeah, you're right, Belgian. Denver's got Aaron Gordon, so it doesn't matter who plays for the Clippers.
Facts, man. I mean, that dude isn't this year's MVP, for nothing. It's Aaron Gordon.
Valley Podcast, what's up, Gabe? I'm assuming that's Gabe. He says, is the Powell for Trent Jr. still working out for both teams? Well, Trent just had a career high 31 last night, and Powell's been playing good for us. We just need to get him more shots. So, yeah, I'd say it's still a good trade for both teams at this point. Toronto gets a piece for their rebuild, and we get a player that should help us more than Trent did this year. So, yeah, I still like that trade a lot. Just hope we use Powell to get more shots in because he's a really good shooter. We need to get him the ball as much as possible, I think.
Yep, what's up, Valley? Trevin is giving Reese crap because Reese always references Fantasy Labs. That's his source, and Fantasy Labs said Canner was starting yesterday. So, Reese, you need to invest in some better sources, man.
Fantasy Labs is actually pretty trustworthy, but yeah.
I mean, how do they have Canner starting yesterday? It's not like Nurkic's first game back was yesterday. Nurkic has been back. So they're tripping, man. Yeah, anything else you want to touch on in this stream?
Yeah, let's talk about just the free agent situation. So the Blazers have 1 week from today to sign someone to their 14th roster spot. At this point, I am
Kelvin
expecting
Blevins.
I was just going to make that joke. I'm expecting them to just promote Kelvin Blevins and not have a single two-way on the roster and just have him as the 14th.
Ridiculous at this point, man.
I honestly,
who do you want them to sign?
I don't know. I would like to get. I kind of touched upon this before. It's hard to explain, but I want someone who is good enough to be good if we need him to play, but also not good enough to come in and mess with the rotations because I kind of like uh, whoever's getting the
Well,
minutes right now, and I don't want to bring in someone that's necessarily going to take minutes from anyone.
yeah. So like who though? Like LiAngelo Ball?
No, like like Austin Rivers would be one who's like he wasn't really playing a lot in New York, so he's not going to demand playing time. But if you need
He
him,
went to Milwaukee though.
did he already sign?
I don't know. It was reported that he's going to Milwaukee though.
I'm just saying someone like that
Yeah.
who like you can he's fine if you have to play him, but he's also fine if you don't have to play him. But the problem is like most of those guys aren't going to choose Portland if we're telling them that that's all we're promising him as a role as basically an insurance policy.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm trying to look at a free agent list right now. Toss out any
I would love
ideas.
I would love to sign Scal back. Just we don't really need a big, but and it doesn't make sense with Giles, but I just like Scal.
I don't know. I want like Giles is injury prone, Nurkic has issues. I would like to use both roster spots on a point guard and a big man.
Yeah.
So Scal would be dope. Maybe Brandon Knight is a guy you've brought up in the past. Yogi Ferrell. Yogi Ferrell kind of fits that, I guess. But he's just small and doesn't play defense.
I don't really like. Yeah, I don't like the size problem.
But like you're probably not going to get like a. Yeah. I mean, okay.
But that's why I think they might just.
Well, what about
actually, Jeremy Lin is a great. I would love to get Jeremy Lin. He played with Powell and has some championship experience, and I think that would be a good pickup. I don't know if he expect to play or not, but.
Well, I just found a name that could fit what you're looking for. What about Emmanuel Mudiay?
Yeah.
6'5" guard, okay defensively. I don't know, like he's not a rotation player, but like he could step in and he's shown that he's been solid. I'm surprised that he's a free agent. I forgot he was not on a team.
Darren Myers was out for the year anyway, so no, even if he was.
Elliot Kobo I'd still be down for, but Emmanuel Mudiay would be like my top guard target.
Was Kobo the 2018 draft?
Yeah, remember I loved him in that draft, and he fell to the second round, and he never ended up being anything.
See him or Kabengele, who was just cut by the Kings.
They cut him? I would
love to take.
Why'd they trade a second? Didn't they trade a second for him?
I think they got a second and traded like a protected second back or
Why
something.
Did the Clippers give up on Cabin? Yeah, Kabengele would be good.
But like for a two-way spot, I wouldn't mind just taking a flyer on that. I know we're not going to use it, so it doesn't matter. But like, I wouldn't mind just like picking a guy like that up and get him into our system and see if that's someone we can potentially develop next year. But yeah, it's Tommy on brand with the Bruno Caboclo. Going back to the beginning of Blazers Uprise, I think some of his first questions were about acquiring him that first offseason, right?
Yeah. I remember somebody was in love with Bruno Caboclo. But Emmanuel Mudiay, Gary Payton II, two guard targets to look out for. Kabengele would be interesting on like a normal roster spot as a big. Or let's see, let's go to center.
Honestly. I wouldn't mind like an Avery Bradley type, but the problem is he's probably in that range where he's going to go to a team where they're telling him he's going to play versus like I don't know what your feelings are about playing Bradley over Simons. He's probably better than Simons, but like Simons is also seemingly rolling with his opportunity so far, at least. Like I kind of like to just see where that goes. If he continues to shoot 40+% from three, I think there's some things we can do with Simons.
I'd play Bradley. Yeah, I get the notion, but like if we're trying to win this year, I'd play Bradley. We need defense, and Bradley's been a 40% shooter this year, and I don't know, Simons just doesn't provide enough else offensively to justify him playing over Bradley if you're trying to win games.
Your boy Kelly Olynyk is a possibility.
Yeah, but I mean, but he wouldn't get minutes here, so. I mean, Deadman maybe, but he's just fallen off.
as like a big. I mean, Kyle Quinn's out there. I've always kind of liked Kyle Quinn. Honestly, that would probably be my top big target. Just a veteran guy who knows how to play, who can play some defense, pass a little bit, shoot a little bit. So Kyle Quinn and Emmanuel Mudiay would be like my top two targets to fill out the roster.
Yeah. Oh, well, other than it doesn't look like Otto Porter, he might not get bought out, but that would be the number one. I think.
Yeah, I'm just saying guys that are currently on the market right now.
Westbrook, this is your last warning. Never say that again. Next time it's a foul. I'm insulted right now. It's unacceptable. Myers Leonard's wife. Yeah, no thicks. She can
Tommy's
shoot though.
saying James Johnson might get bought out.
He'd probably be able to play somewhere for a decent team though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, but like, I don't know. I don't want to speculate on guys that might or might not get bought out. Like, yeah, there's a few guys that might or might not get bought out. It's just like, who knows at this point? You know, we don't know. So, in terms of guys that are on the market right now, Emmanuel Mudiay and Kyle Quinn would be my top two targets.
Yeah, I don't think I can argue with either of those guys. Pinwheel Empire had a hilarious joke that we signed Steve Blake today for his fourth stint with the team.
Dang, man, that's hilarious. I bet got like 200 likes and everybody was like, ha, 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 ha. You know, that side of Twitter.
And some guy, I won't call him a name, but he blocked me for trying to tell him that Hassan Whiteside sign and trade wasn't realistic this offseason, and he claims to be a cap expert, is saying that we should use our full biannual exception to sign someone and go into the tax to win all this year, and sign him to a multi-year deal to
Who is this?
Eric Griffith.
What?
He's saying we should throw the full biannual exception at Austin Rivers for multiple years, so sign him to a multi-year contract and go into the tax this year because it's not our money and it shows that we're actually going for it, even though that would cost us significant amounts of money next year. And
In the year after,
yep.
right?
And so we'd have to pay an extra $1 for every dollar we go over the tax next year if we did that, which means...
Wouldn't that be the case the year after if we're still in the tax, like until we get out of the tax?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And with Dame's extension kicking in, we're going to be in the tax for multiple years. So he's basically saying, let's shell out like $50 million for Austin Rivers.
Yeah, who doesn't even really help us that much this year. It's so stupid, yeah. And above that too, okay, for one, so he'll then use this as a reasoning for the Blazers not going with the Whiteside thing because we didn't sign and trade him for Kevin Love or whatever the hell it was.
We're lagging.
Are we lagging?
See, yeah, people don't, the internet doesn't want us talking about such ridiculous topics, man. Oh my goodness. Bro, it lagged out with me face palming.
All right.
I think we're back.
No,
it lagged out with me face palming because my goodness, yeah. Let's shell out $50 million for Austin freaking Rivers, Eric, to take Anthony Simons 14 minutes a game.
What else doesn't make sense is one, you don't know if Austin Rivers would even sign a multi-year contract, right? And I mean, he's like most likely going to be a minimum contract guy for the rest of his career moving forward too. Like he barely got more than the minimum this year. So like, why would you not? Buyout guys don't get paid more. They don't care if they get bought out. They're saving money usually. So in very rare cases, like less than probably like 5% of the time, does someone go to a team based on money when it's the buyout market. They want to go to the best situation for the rest of this season to get a better contract for next year. So they're not just going to go sit on our bench because they're making like 500,000 more if that means that they're not going to get an opportunity to show what they can do next year. And who knows if Rivers would take the biennial exception or whatever. But his argument was that since we're going to be in the tax, we won't be able to use it next summer, so we might as well use it now. But like the implications of doing it are just way worse than losing it, in my opinion. And we'll look at this year. We got guys like Giles and Melo for minimum contracts. We don't necessarily need the biennial exception to get like guys that can help our roster.
Yep, just ridiculous. Shell out $50 million for Austin Rivers to play 12 minutes a game over Anthony Simons. Like, how in the world, like, bro, I don't trust any cap expert other than Eric Brandt, okay? Don't trust anyone other... No, I'm saying that. I'm saying that. Don't trust any cap expert other than Eric Brandt. I mean, he's corrected Bobby Marks before on something. You know, Bobby Marks has worked in an NBA front office. I mean, you got Eric Griffith out here, Mr. Cap expert, saying we should pay out essentially $50 million over the next couple years to replace Anthony Simons with Austin Rivers. Like, it's silly. It's disgusting. No, stop. I'm tired of people that just, I don't know. I'm tired of how off some people are. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it's not your money, but you cannot blame the organization is not being cheap if they don't want to pay out $50 million for Austin Rivers. That's called being smart, okay? You're not going to go and shell out $200 for 10 boneless wings at Buffalo Wild Wings, right? That doesn't make you cheap. That makes you not an idiot, okay? Because you're not spending insane amount of cash on something that is not worth the cash you're spending. Austin Rivers is not worth spending $50 million. He's not even worth spending 10% of that. He's not worth $5 million. Okay? So that whole thing just, oh my goodness, makes me cringe, makes me facepalm. There's my rant for the day. No.
What's funny is it's always like people who are very, very critical of Olshey that are always like, oh, he just doesn't want to spend the money. This organization is cheap, and that drives me crazy. Yeah, it's like, and then to block me just because I mean, I guess I'm holding a grudge because, like, but Emmanuel Mudiay, Brandon Knight, I'd rather get one of those guys for the minimum than. Like last year, Trey Burke signed for the minimum. That was someone I was advocating us picking up or whatever. And like that, he's the kind of guy like we could find this year for the minimum. We don't necessarily need to go into the tax to get Austin Rivers to save our season. It's so stupid.
Yeah. It's just, bro, like takes like that deserve to be called out. Not anything personal, just it's a terrible take. A horrible take. And it's so that people can hate on Olshey for the organization being cheap, which isn't even Olshey's fault. But the organization is cheap because they don't want to spend $50 million on Austin Rivers. It's just silly. Like if you're a cap expert, you should know what repeater tax implies. And if you think the organization is in the wrong for not dealing with that, then you are just out there in another universe. I don't even know how else to put it.
Yeah, I mean, that's been his thing this year. It's like, who cares about the tax or whatever? And it's just such a dumb way to look at it. Like, I understand the people who want the owners to just dump as much money as possible, but being responsible this year will help us next year, especially everything I've heard so far. I will absolutely, kill them next year if they decide the same thing. Oh, we're not going in the tax, even though you pretty much have to, right? If they're cheap next year, then I will turn my feelings on this to the opposite way. But if they're being smart this year, that is absolutely the right thing to do if it's because they are planning on going in the tax next year and don't want to have to pay way more than they would have to if they were in the tax this year. That's totally responsible, and that's the right thing to do, in my opinion. And people just want, like, us to sign like LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin and trade for Aaron Gordon and do all these things, but they don't understand the ramifications of that moving forward and how many things we'd lose to get those guys, both in terms of our roster this year and for future finances. And it just doesn't make sense to me to like bash them for being cheap. I don't get it at all.
Ridiculous. Anyway, so anything else you want to touch on from this stream?
No, a lot of people are mentioning Sabraz Napier. I wouldn't have a problem with reunion with him either. I mean, not that he's great or anything, but I mean, he knows
small
the
point
system.
guard.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like he'd be like just like signing Yogi Ferrell in my opinion.
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, we've had him before, so I guess the nostalgia factor is there. Get the Shabazz as the man back. And relevant again. We'll see what they do. We'll have it covered when they do something. Probably won't stream on Blazers Uprise right when it happens. It's just like not monumental enough, but we'll maybe do a video on it. If it's like an Otto Porter, we would stream on Blazers Uprise, but if it's a Manuel Mudiay, I don't know, it's not big enough.
Yeah, right. Just real quick, so Belgian's asking what the consequences are. So if you're in the tax, you can not trade for as much salary like in trades. You can't you have like the mid-level exception is less. It's like 6 million next year versus 10 million, so the quality of player you can sign is likely different. You wouldn't have the ability to sign other things, and we have a chance to bring back most of our team without getting hard cap next year like we are this year. So I think then it's a case of we could spend as much money as we want. But if we got hard cap next year, we would have a tough time just even filling out the roster because we're going to be so close to the tax without signing a lot of players. And so it's I don't know. There's a lot of things other than just money. Plus, at the end of the year, you have to write a big check, and the teams that aren't in the tax get money. So like this year, all the teams, I think Golden State's going to have to pay like 80 some to 90 some million just from the Kelly Oubre trade alone, and that gets split up into the non-tax teams. So just from that trade alone, a team like Portland makes like $3 million, which is crazy. So, and that's not including all the other teams that are in the tax now this year. But yeah, so there's a lot of ramifications, but it's I'll explain it more in depth if you want another time, Belgian.
Yep, it's very complicated stuff. Once we get into the off season, we will have a mock off season, and we will have, just like we did last during the hiatus last season, we'll have a mock off season. We'll kind of hopefully people will be able to learn some of that type of stuff, because we will cover that type of stuff, and anybody participating will have to abide by CBA rules and whatnot. So it's definitely complicated, but Eric does a good job breaking it down. That's why I say you should get your information from him, right? He's too humble to say that, but I will say it for him. All right, so
We're liking a bit.
are we? Yeah.
I think we're back. Yeah.
Were we gone? I don't know. Anyway, that's going to wrap up this stream. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will catch you guys tomorrow night on your Friday with a recap of what the Blazers do against the Bucks. Looking forward to that game, and I look forward to seeing if the Blazers can get business done against a good team. So, thank you for tuning in. I don't know if we're we're probably dealing with some lag hiccups right now, so this is the perfect time to sign off. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you tomorrow. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.